Welcome to my office. So, today we're going to be speaking about biofeedback, which is an electrical magnetic instrument which is most commonly used for post-surgery, for example, ACL tears and meniscal tears, where you get the meniscopy and all that. It's both auditory and visual. So what this does is it allows the patient to be independentized by themselves, and they can set their own goals as well as the athletic trainer help them. But they motivate themselves by seeing the red lines move up and down, and if they want to reach the goal of 40 volts, they're able to try as hard as they can to get the contraction. Contraction. So how the machine really works is that since it's electrical, it reads the muscle and all the electrodes. Basically, it's the electrical activity is generated by the muscle, so the nerve fibers send out impulses through neurons. Those neurotransmitters release acetylcholine, and that binds together with sarsaparilla. That depolarizes the muscle, so positive to negative, negative to positive, which then creates a dependent contraction. It's dependent on the contraction, and it exerts the power. So when the ions are moving after those transmitters are gathering and bonding together, there's an electrical gradient which is over the muscle, and that is what the electrodes are reading. Throughout the treatment, there might be some type of muscle being fired, and there's multiple signals that might be read that shouldn't be read. So in order for it to really read the right contraction, it subtracts both signals from each other, and whatever's left is that of the contraction. And that's called the differential amplifier, which I showed you there on the board before. As far as setup, there's not really any issues. There's no feeling. It's not going to pinch or anything. It's just the pad. That's all you're going to feel. You're the only one that's going to control the contraction and everything like that. If you look at the pad, it has 3 areas, which are drawn right here. This first area is the active, the second area is the reference, and the third area is the active negative. The amplifier, which is this as well, is going to read everything. So between the active, positive, and the reference, there should be one signal, which is given off by the muscles. The reference and the active signal, which is the negative, are going to give off the second signal. In order for the amplifier to understand what is the electric activity, or the electrode activity, is by doing signal minus signal.
I don't know. Just you as a person. I don't like it.
Oh. Put them on. There's also needles.
I'll be there.
Then
I'll be at the guys.
and it should be on. Okay. To set a goal, you either increase it or decrease it.
Where you guys at?
And if you want to go higher, you can set it up to wherever you want. So when you do contract, you can see your line and the line that you want it to be, which is the baseline. That's good. Hold the contraction for about 10 seconds maximum, and rest about double the contraction, so about 20 seconds. Usually the treatments are from 10 to 20 minutes, usually 20, and that'll fatigue the muscle. The machine can be used with either 1 or 2 electrodes depending on what you really want to do. I would use 1 electrode for some small area, maybe in the forearm, compared to the vastus lataris and the vastus medius in the knee, which is usually what biofeedback is used for. Usually there's 2 electrodes set up parallel to each other, and the fibers medially and laterally. Your indications and your contraindications. Sterile gauze. You're gonna clean the area and make sure there's no hair or anything impeding. Why is before you? I'm gonna set the electrode on the muscle. Contract. Contract. Harder. Okay. I'm gonna turn it on. See the red line? It's set at, it's calibrating. Let it calibrate.
You want me to zoom into that?
Alright.
But that's me really.
So her norm right now is at a 2. So what I'm going to ask her to do is I'm going to ask her to contract by closing her fist and flexing her wrist and hit a 20. So palm and up. And hold it for 5 seconds. And I can do this 4 to 10 times. And if I want her to improve, I can add more every day. So if tomorrow I want her to go to 40, I'll set it up, calibrate it, and she can see it, along with hearing the machine. You hear the machine? Is it comfortable? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you feel the contraction? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what this does is it reads the electrical currents that the muscle is creating with the ions. So contract again. So now she's hitting 40. So every time she can go higher and push it. And at one point the muscle will fatigue. Alright? So now we just turn it off and take the electrode, disconnect it, and put it back. Very good. Yeah.